team, my name's Ben and this is
Daz.
And welcome to Outdoors with Ben and Daz. So where are we off to this week, Daz?
So this week we're going to the Tongariro Crossing team. So it should take us a fair bit of time to get through it. Expect it to take us about 8 or so hours to complete.
Okay, we've got to go through our gear list and what we're going to need. So I rummaged through my office and I'll go grab some stuff. I got a fair bit through here, so take us through what we're going to need and what we don't need.
Oh, okay, essential thing to take on anything you do in the outdoors, especially if you're going for a big long tramp this long, is a first aid kit.
The thing with the crossing is you're going to be there, you start at one end and you go to the other, and you're going to be stuck halfway if a problem happens with nowhere to be. If you get a stone in your shoe and it turns into a blister, you're going to have to deal with it, and your first aid kit is going to be essential. Okay, what else have I got?
Cool, let's have a look in here. Okay, so first thing I see is a t-shirt. T-shirts are good, really important. However, the problem with this one here, and is obviously just a typical t-shirt. It's a cotton t-shirt. Problem with cotton is that when cotton gets wet, it gets cold, okay? Because the fibers in it are lengthened away so much that your body spends so much time trying to heat that fabric up that you lose a lot of body temperature. So if you're doing a tramp like the Tongariro Crossing, then you're going to be exposed to some pretty extreme kind of conditions, because the higher you get up in altitude, the colder it's going to get, and the colder you'll get if this is close to your skin.
Okay, cotton is rotten.
Cotton's rotten.
How about this one?
Ooh. Now this one's a lot better. This one's a dry fit. Think about dry fits don't keep you that warm. Okay, so I mean it's ideal over the top of something else like a polypropylene. And these things, once they get wet, they evaporate pretty quick. So it's probably not as bad. It's not as bad as cotton. It doesn't cool you down as fast as cotton. However, it doesn't insulate that well either. Okay, something just to think about. Probably good on a summer's day, a hot summer's day if you're going on a day tramp. However, if you're doing something a little bit more hectic and a little bit longer, then it's probably not going to serve you that well. This thing's better. Okay, so this is a polypropylene. Good thing about these ones, they'll keep you warm inside. You keep these close to your skin. Don't put this over the top of over a singlet or t-shirt. You keep it close to your skin. It's going to keep your body temperature nice and warm. Yeah, once you sweat, the sweat goes into the fabric and doesn't cool you down. However, if you overheat, you can obviously pull your sleeves up, or you can take your layer off over the top, and that'll cool you down eventually anyway.
Okay, so there's a chance I'm going to get cold?
Yeah, the altitude on the Tongariro Crossing comes to about close to 2,500 meters. So the higher the altitude you get to, obviously the cooler it's going to be. It may be a perfect, beautiful day, and you might be tempted to start stripping off some layers, and it's good to. But as you get higher on, it's time to stop and evaluate the situation, see what the temperature is going to do, and when it gets colder, you want to be able to have something nice and warm to be able to start layering up if you need to. So just be careful of that.
So I've got this. It's a rabbit onesie. So is this a good option?
Probably not, Mr. Reynolds.
Has a tail.
Yeah, it has a tail. And the reason I say that is because it's really hot. Another thing you can something to be mindful of as well is your body temperature. If you get too hot, then of course you're going to start overheating. You're going to feel real nauseous. This one here, your body heat will just kind of stick around. Yeah.
All right. Here we go. What else do we have?
Oh, yeah, good old vest, eh? Good thing about these things too, they pack down really light, so they're actually kind of light ones to take on a day tramp.
Good. Lots of layers.
Yeah, this one once again, once you get up to higher temperature and you're stopping for lunch, something like this might be nice just to put on over your shirt, just to keep the wind off you, and it'll keep you a little bit warm. Yeah, probably good for sunscreening.
I found this for when it gets cold.
Yeah, probably not. Think about this: if you're carrying this up a mountain, it adds kilos to your load. So probably not something you really need to be tramping out, unless you're expecting to stay overnight.
And if it gets cold, we can always snuggle.
You can snuggle.
Okay. That was our layers upstairs. Yeah. Downstairs, what do we recommend? It's going to be April.
Okay, so April's really the borderline of the changing temperatures too, because once we get into May, we get into the winter kind of temperatures, especially in the higher altitude. It's kind of hard to predict what the weather's going to be like up there this time of the year, but however, we're still in the safe zone between October and April is a good time to be able to tramp this tramp. Pack for a range of seasons, to be fair. You could, in the warmer times, you probably want to do shorts, otherwise go in some long pants that are kind of windbreaking. They're not going to be, not the insulated one that's going to be too thick, too hot for you. Shorts for this tramp next week, probably not recommended as such because we're going to be starting to tramp fairly early in the morning. Temperatures are already going to be fairly cold. Once again, as I keep saying, is that you want to stay as comfortable for as long as possible, and if you might want to have shorts underneath a pair of track pants, and if you get too hot, take your track pants off, put them in your backpack, walk around with your shorts until you get up to the higher altitudes. When you stop for break, to break for lunch and water, then you can put your pants back on.
Okay, I've got a few options for headwear.
Oh, a few options for headwear. Okay, probably not this. You want to chuck it on, just see what it looks like, because it's hard to kind of tell. Yeah.
It feels good though. It feels good.
Cool. Probably not, because you've got to get a lot of sun on your face. Sun hat, really good to wear. Make sure you protect the face, protect the head, regulate the temperature. A nice sun hat's probably a good one to keep the sun off your head, to, just so you don't get too hot. Or a cap or something like that. Beanie, yeah, always pack a beanie, especially for this one. And the reason I say that is because you probably wouldn't want to tramp with this for too long anyway. But it can, when you get really hot, you can just put it in your backpack. However, when you do stop and have those breaks, and it gets cold, then the first thing you want to do is start warming up your head, because heat's going to skate through your head. So you want to be able to keep that, some body temperature in.
I don't go anywhere without my woolly hat.
Yeah.
Okay, shoes. Junior was throwing out these shoes, so I got them for free.
Yeah, one thing to consider is that the Tongariro Crossing is a volcano, and it has volcanic rock, plenty of scoria, and that stuff will chew up those shoes and spit them back out again. It's like grinding your feet over sandpaper for 8 hours. Can do it in shoes. I've seen people do this tramping shoes. It's not recommended because some of the rocks can be unstable. Hiking boots are more preferred and probably something you want to go for, a good sturdy pair of boots. These have higher tops on them as opposed to sneakers, which have lower tops. The thing is, because there's a lot of loose gravel, a lot of these stones are going to end up in your boot. So you want to be able to kind of prevent that as long as possible. Good thing about hiking boots as well, they've got plenty of track on them. They've also got, they're also nice and stable, and nice hard bottoms on them. Okay, whereas shoes, especially running shoes, they're built designed to be moved around. So once you step on a stone, they're designed to kind of curl around that stone or roll over, and you're more likely to roll your ankle on them.
So I should just pick up a pair of tramping boots first thing in the morning?
Tramping boots, yeah, tramping boots.
First thing in the morning before we shoot up,
yep.
We'll just grab a new pair?
Yep, that's the one. But as long as you've got a pair of shoes that are nice and stable, nice and sturdy for you.
Don't grab them first thing in the morning. We want a...
I see where you're going with that.
If you get a new pair of boots, give it a good week to wear them in, unless it's Worcester City, and you'll be limping for a good 6 hours.
Yeah, and don't do what some people do and just wear 2 pairs of socks to try and combat it, because you still get your blisters regardless.
What the heck are these things?
Oh, these things are called gators, man. Gators. So, gators are... Okay, so the idea of gators is to keep the stones out of your shoes also as well. If you've got a pair of waterproof boots, or something similar to these, then if these go over the top, so they're designed for your feet, they go around your ankle, around your calf, up your calf, and then they kind of sit just over your boot like this. Okay, if you've got a pair of waterproof boots, if you're going crossing streams, then it's designed to keep the water out of your boot for a short period of time, but also mostly it's designed to keep the stones from getting into your boot.
All right. Got a lovely pair of gloves. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's really preference if you want to take some gloves on the tramp with you. As I was saying, the tramp is we're gonna start early, so it's gonna be fairly cold to kick off with. So if you want to put some gloves on, you can. I think you'll get by without them.
Okay.
To be honest.
How about these bad boys?
Yeah, man, grab a pair of sunnies, hey? Sunglasses is going to help keep the glare off your face as well and out of your eyes. Okay, and also if there's a bit of wind gust that comes through, usually it picks up a fair bit of dust and blows it into your face. So the sunglasses could be an essential tool. Perfect. Really important to slap them on. Okay, sunscreen. Cool, the higher the better. New Zealand conditions, it might be fairly cold, but if the sun's out, or even if it's overcast condition, if it's a sunny day, you're going to get burnt.
And most of the crossing is going to be really exposed, without any cover. All right. How about these bad boys?
Socks, yeah. Grab a good pair of socks, then. Rugby socks are nice and long. This one here is a little bit different, okay? So this one here is not a rugby pair of socks. This is built for tramping, okay? You find these nice ones in, probably find them in the warehouse, to be honest, man. There's a workman's section in there. They're nice and comfortable, nice and thick. They'll keep your feet nice and comfortable for a while inside your boots. But you want to grab some ones that are kind of built for, in the tramping shop, they've got a little bit of wool inside. What that's going to do is it's going to take the sweat away from your feet so your feet are not squishing around inside your sock.
Okay. What the heck is this bad boy?
Oh, that's a bladder, Ben.
I have a bladder.
You do? So, a bladder is like a camelback. What you can do with these things, you can fill them up with water, stuff them in your backpack. Most backpacks actually come with them kind of built-in kind of sections for these now. The hose comes through the other side, and then what you end up with is something like this with the hose coming out the front, and then you can just drink on it as you go. Good thing about this, frees up your hands, you know, you can just sip it when you want to. Yeah, I mean, if you've got them, you can use them. Good to have if you can find them.
Yeah, so again, the crossing is going to take between 6 or maybe 9 hours if we have a bad day. So we're going to want at least 1.5 litres of fluids along the way. Oh, and then lucky last, what do we got here?
Rain jacket. You'll need a raincoat, team. We're playing this safe, okay? So grab something that's going to protect you from wet conditions as well. As we're saying, we're going to keep an eye on the forecast as we go through. A raincoat is really essential tool to have. You're going to pack this on the top of your pack because this may be something you're going to be putting on, taking off, putting on, taking off. Then you might just want something that you can just put on just to break the wind up. However, if it looks a bit drizzly, you want something that's going to be able to keep you dry.
Okay, awesome. So to recap, cotton is rotten, lots of layers that we can take on and off. Zips are good, so we can just unzip something, let a bit of air in, zip it back up. We want to be able to regulate our temperature and not get stuck with a really something heavy and warm where we overheat, sweat, and then get cold, or not be stuck with something too light and start to freeze. Alright, I think we're ready for action.
Cool.
Alright, let's go.